Hello, my name is Joshua Spears. I'm really looking forward to spending just a moment with you. I'm a national speaker. I go all over the country and spend time with educators in the area of social emotional learning, self-care, school culture, and have a lot of fun doing it. And I wanted to make this video real quick just to share a quick story about the role of an educator in my life. So I encourage you to share it with any educator that you may know, or for that matter, any other human that you know for that matter, because the role we play in the lives of other people certainly is very significant. I was down in Mississippi recently and I posted this picture on social media. It's at Jackson State University. I was there training a whole bunch of educators from all across the state. And it was really neat to share it with everybody. I got this really neat comment on there. And take a look at that comment. And this is the guy who put the comment on there. It's a really fun picture. And that's Mr. Lavoie. Where was I when I met Mr. Lavoie? See, I was in 7th grade when I met him, and I had just gotten expelled from my 5th school. And I had all kinds of challenges. I'd been through all kinds of trauma as a young boy. And Mr. Lavoie and I really connected. We really had a good bond. We both liked sports. And he was the coach for the local JV baseball team, and he needed a water boy. And he came to me one day and said, "Josh, would you like to be the water boy for my baseball team?" And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And he said, "Well, you get to leave school early and you get to go to McDonald's after the games." And I'm like, done. That was it for me. It was really a good experience for me because I got a chance to go spend some time with some quote unquote normal kids and connect with those folks. And one day there was this gentleman in the dugout, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. Big, tall guy with a white shirt, big P on his chest. And he's like, "Josh, you're a big kid. You should play football." I said, "Sir, I don't think you understand. I go to this alternative school. They certainly don't have any sports. My hometown doesn't have football for students my age." And he goes, "Well, would you play if you could, if I could work it out?" And I said, "Well, I guess I would." And so that guy, who ended up being the varsity football coach for that local school, Mr. Lavoie, both school administrators and my mom got together and they came up with this plan that if I had perfect behavior for the rest of the year, they would bus me from the alternative school to that school and I would be able to go and play football. I can honestly tell you that I never got in trouble in school again. It was just this, I was just so motivated to do well. And by the end of my 8th grade year, I was mainstreaming. And in the education space, that's very common, where we're going half of the day to the alternative school, half the day to the public school, getting used to being back in the normal school. Mr. Lavoie came up to me right near the end of the year and gave me a flyer for a local football camp at a Division I school. And of course, at that time, we didn't have a lot of money, so I was raking and mowing lawns and doing different things to try to go. And I ended up getting a chance to go. And here I was, where I viewed myself as a throwaway kid at this amazing place with all of these students and in this beautiful stadium. And this gentleman walks up to me one day and says, "You're a big kid, where you live?" And I told him, and he said, "Well, that's the area that I recruit. Maybe I'll be recruiting you someday." And he said, "But remember that school is more important than football. Your education will last a lot longer than anything else." And he goes, "Maybe someday I'll be recruiting you." And 4 years later, that same gentleman showed up at my school to recruit me. And then, of course, I ended up going off to college. Is it safe to say that that dream absolutely changed my life? Is it safe to say that it completely changed the trajectory of my entire life? I think it's safe to say. And now the question for all of us is, where would I be without this guy? Where would I be without Mr. Lavoie? Honestly, if I'm being honest, I would be in a cell or a casket. That's where I feel like I would be based on where I was at. Now, people say to me all the time, "Josh, well, you had to change. You had to make better decisions. You had to do all of those things to work your way out." All of that may be true, but none of that would have been possible without him believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. And again, this is my story, just a little bit of it, but this isn't about me. This is more about you as an educator, you as a human, as you interact with other people throughout the course of your lives. Just remember what a big impact you're making on their life. Because the work that you're doing is so challenging, it can be so difficult. And sometimes remembering how important it is, it can help us really invigorate. As you go through your day and you feel frustrated, just think about in 10, 15, 20, 25 years, all the work you're doing, how that's going to pay off for all of those students. And as an advocate for educators who's deeply passionate about the work you're doing, I want to thank you for the work that you're doing. From a former troubled student who's been helped by educators through my whole life. And if you ever want to talk, if you ever want to work together, reach out to me. I'm always looking for opportunities to connect with other people and collaborate on this amazing journey we have to help this next generation of students. I want to thank you for your time. Enjoy your day. See ya.